Okay, now that we've had a battery change. So I hope you guys are having a good Sunday evening or whatever day you're watching this, but for me it's Sunday. You may be asking, why do I have this little notebook out? It is because I watched Destiny and Sarah, as I've told you guys before. They have the really cool podcast called Bookmarked, but they also had a really cool, I can't talk tonight, guys, I'm so sorry. And it's also soap. Super hot in my apartment for some reason. I have no idea. I've been gone all day, and then I've just been bonding with my cat for the past few minutes, and it is super hot outside. Not outside, inside. Oh, Lord help me with this vlog. Anyway, we're gonna get into the book tag. It's basically a bunch of book questions, and to peep, this is the Chiefs played today, so this is my Lovers shirt from the Lost Bros. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is wrong with me today. We will get through this together. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one was, what is your most disappointing book of the year? So mine is actually kind of a surprise to me. It is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So the backstory with this is, it's been on my TBR for the past few years, just like on the Kindle version, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it before. I've read a couple of other Penelope Douglas books, like the Four Horsemen series or whatever, till I got to Damon's book, and then could not do that. The Doubles Night series, just couldn't do it. Love Kai, he's like one of my faves, but Michael's kind of weird, but anyway, besides the point. And I really liked Punk 57 by her, which was kind of surprising for me this year. So I decided to pick up another one of hers. And Birthday Girl, like a few years ago on like TikTok and a bunch of other places, was like super hyped. So I was like, might as well try it. I knew it was age gap, which is not my favorite thing anyway, so I knew kind of going into it that it might not be my favorite. I just didn't like it. The trope wasn't for me, the dialogue, the whole like relationship, I was not into it whatsoever. And I kind of just forced myself to hopefully get to some point that it would get better, and it never did. So that was my most disappointing book so far this year. The next one is, what was an underdog book this year? Both of these, one of these is more well known, the other one is like one I've never really heard anybody talk about, and the first one is The Stand-In by Lily Chu. I literally picked this up at like Target randomly throughout the year. It just like, it intrigued me, I thought it looked pretty, and the back of it sounded really good, and it was phenomenal. It is one of my favorite books that I've read this year, actually. So much so that I picked up Lily Chu's second book that she came out with, which is called The Comeback, and I have not read it. As we do with all of those, we must buy the new release, and then we don't read it sometimes automatically. But it is on my list to read at the top of 2024. I really like it, and she is a great author. And then the second one is actually In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. That one surprised me because, not that kids are annoying in books, but they can be. Sometimes like when you involve a kid in it, the storyline just doesn't like jive well enough. I'm not like, it's not my fave kind of thing. I loved In a Jam by Kate Canterbury, like loved it. And I know there's like a second one that came out. Obsessed. I thought it was great. There's a lot of really good quotes in there. I pretty much almost read it. Like I had a couple of like work trips and stuff. I read it in between those. 100% loved it. Loved the characters, loved the storyline, and the cover is super cute. I just love the cover of it, and it is so good. I don't own the physical copy. I only read it like on my Kindle, but I feel like I need to buy it just for the cover alone because it is too cute. The next one was, what was an overhyped book that you read? I would say, and I know this is gonna cause a lot of Daisy Jones and the Six. So listen, hear me out before you're like, oh my God, Alex. I'm a massive Taylor Jenkins Reid fan. I love her books. I love Malibu Rising. I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I need to read Carrie Soto because I was a tennis player and I love tennis, so I definitely need to pick that up and read it. I don't know what it was about this book. I just found it really annoying. I didn't like the storylines. I couldn't really relate to any of the characters. I did like the whole like back and forth thing, but I kind of didn't like that the interview style was through the whole book. And I know that I'm not alone in thinking that. I did watch a few episodes of the TV show, and I did like the show much better than I liked the book. I will say that. I never did finish it, but I don't think it's a bad story. It's not for me. So for me, it was one that I'm not a Daisy Jones and the Six fan. Sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings. And then the next one is basically a book that surprised you. So obviously The Stand-In by Lily Chu, like I already said, I've never read anything by Lily Chu. I'm gonna mention that a few times because my book list this year, I did not get as much books like read this year as I anticipated. It'll probably end up like somewhere in the 40s by the end of this like year. So bear with me guys. My plan next year is to really like buckle down and get a lot more. And then Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. I actually really liked this book. I picked this up on a whim. I was at the airport and I saw it and I loved it. And if you were like me and you actually played some of the Nancy Drew games growing up, there's one, the Last Train Ride to Blue Moon Canyon. It gave me those kind of vibes and it was very nostalgic. And I just really loved it. I like Christina Lauren a lot as an author, and that book was just everything to me. I think about it from time to time, and it's a very, very good read. Next, your favorite book couple or couples of the year. So I had a couple, just two. I didn't really have like too many that I really liked. Honorable mention would be probably, what's his name? Nate and Gigi from the latest Elle Kennedy book. I do love them, but they're not my favorite. I mean, they're never gonna be the OG, and Brenna and Jake are my favorites. But that is from a couple years ago, not this year. So for this year, probably to no one's surprise, it is actually Feyre and Rysand. I didn't really understand, like before I got into the books, the hype with this couple. I was like, yeah, okay, like he's dark brooding, he helps her, like what's the big deal? I know. But it wasn't until like, I don't even think it was really A Court of Mist and Fury that secured it for me. I think it was ACOWAR, like Wings and Ruin, that really just solidified their relationship for me. And I think about it all the time now and put myself kind of in their situations, and I can relate so much to like some of the comments and some of the things that they both kind of not went through necessarily. Obviously it's a fictional universe, but like similar things that really endeared me to them as a couple. And I'm sorry, my cat is literally digging in there. And that really endeared me to them. And I think that's why they're a lot of people's favorite couple, is because he does see her for who she is and he encourages her to make her own choices and be her own person. And I think that sometimes it's gotten a lot better over the years, but I think for a while we kind of didn't. We had really good characters and they would help. I don't know how I'm trying to explain this. I just really love the way that he encourages her. It's just very good. It's very well done, very well written. I love them. Moving on to my second couple of the year. This one may be a little bit controversial. I love Josh and Jules from Twisted Hate in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I know there are a lot of people that, because of, I'm not going to give it away because I want you guys to actually read it, that have said they don't like it because of a certain scene and what happens. And I get it, but at the same time, I love the banter between those two. And I don't know if it's because he's like a doctor and because he's going into training and the things that he sees and the way that his anxiety and things portray and the way him and Jules like related to each other and talk with each other. I could not put that book down. I started it on a flight and literally read it all the way up to the gate, which I never do. Did not want to stop reading. As soon as I was finished with that whole series, literally went and bought them all. They're not currently here. I have to install another bookshelf in here, so they're still at my parents' house. But guys, I love them. And I know that they're not everybody's favorite couple. I feel like Bridget and Rise get a lot of love. Not that it's not well deserved. I just love Josh and Jules more. But I digress. Let's move on to the next question, or I'll literally sit there and talk about that and I will die on that hill for them. Favorite main characters of the year. I would say I didn't really have too many this year that I feel like were like massive standouts. So I'm gonna go with Feyre and then Gracie from The Stand-In by Lily Chu. I know that some of these are kind of repetitive, but that's just the way that it kind of fell. I really like Feyre's character. I'm getting more into like the behind the scenes with Nesta because I'm on A Court of Silver Flames right now. So I can't really speak to that. I'm trying to get it done before the end of the year. That is my goal. Sorry, my cat is literally, I haven't been home all day, so he's getting into everything. Like my battery, my everything. So I haven't really gotten into that part of it yet. Small child, I swear. But I really, those were like the ones I felt like Gracie I could relate to a lot. Her mom has some medical issues. I don't want to get into it because it does kind of spoil bits of the book. And then obviously Feyre for obvious reasons, for her anxiety, for some of the relationship things that she went through with Tamlin. I could relate to some of those very closely. So those were why they were my favorites for this year. The next one is new favorite author you discovered. I'm sorry, again, it's Lily Chu. I'll move on to the next question because I think you guys are tired of hearing me talk about how much I love Lily Chu. Lily Chu, if you're watching this, I love your books. Let's see, what is the happiest book you read this year? Probably A Court of Mist and Fury. I know there are parts of it that are not happy, but overall, I just love like the whole Valaris and Starfell, and that just like everything about it made you so happy, and it gave me a better picture of like the Night Court as a whole, because I feel like it's the first time you really kind of get to see why like he's so protective of his home, and Feyre gets that insight in it, and you get it as well from her eyes, and I really liked it. And then the next one is Love Redesigned. I love Lauren Asher. She is one of my favorite authors, as you guys know on this channel. I will never stop singing her praises. And Love Redesigned was just so, it just gave me the nicest, coziest feelings. I was kicking and giggling, and I love the banter again. And it just, Lauren Asher, she doesn't miss. And I'm very, I went into it like not expecting a lot, because I wasn't like thrilled with like the whole lakefront billionaire type of thing. I was like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of been done like before, but guys, it was good. It was real good. The next one is, I'm so sorry, my eyes have been bothering me all year. The most frustrating book for this year, again, I know this is gonna be unpopular. I would say A Curse for One True Love. So I started it and DNF'd it. I was over 100 pages in it, and I just felt like it wasn't giving me what I wanted it to give me. I don't know what I was really expecting. I think it was a little bit more whimsical than I was planning on reading. And I don't know if it's because from the way I grew up, I'm like a hardcore fantasy lover, and her world is a little bit more, it's just different. It's not like what I'm used to with the whole politics and things like that. I just wasn't my fave. Wasn't my fave. Will I go back and revisit it in 2024? Maybe. I still have the copy in my kitchen sitting on my desk, so it's a possibility, but that one really frustrated me because I felt like no matter what I did, I just couldn't get into it, and that was annoying because I love the covers, and I know that everybody says that the story only gets really like better. I had a hard time. The next one is the like best book adaptation of the year, so like film or TV. I didn't really watch too many of them, and I watched some really bad ones, I'm not gonna lie. But I have The Summer I Turned Pretty because that's kind of a given. I haven't actually finished the whole series there, but I just like the way that the characters are written. I have read the first one. I need to read the next two in the series. Yeah, it's a really good adaptation. I feel like everybody knows that though. It's not like anything. I did like a couple of the episodes I saw with Daisy Jones and the Six, but again, I can't speak to that because I didn't finish it. The next one is, what is the longest book I read this year? I think it's Act of War, if I recall correctly. I don't think I've read anything longer than that, so that's been my longest one so far. And then what's the shortest one? That is The Boy, the Horse, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, which is like almost like a novella short story. The other one that could be counted for this is A Court of Frost and Starlight, but The Boy, the Fox, the whatever, the Horse, you get the point. That one is way shorter. So that one is just like almost like fabulistic. I got it because of like the little, I don't know how to phrase it, like not quotes, but like almost like encouraging quotes that are in it. I got it from TikTok and everybody says it's really good, so I went and bought it because I just wanted to have it for inspiration basically. The next one is my favorite cover of the year. This was really hard. I don't feel like I really found any that were like super pretty that I finished. These Violent Delights is a really good cover by Chloe Gong, but again, I need to finish that one. The Inheritance Games, I feel like Jennifer Lynn Barnes always has really beautiful covers, so I put that one down, even though that technically is cheating since I first read that one in 2021, and then I was working through finishing the series this year. And then the second one is In a Jam, like I mentioned, by Kate Canterbury. I just think it's cute, it's simplistic, it's pretty. You don't really know what to expect from the cover, but then when you delve inside, it is gorgeous. Absolutely love. And then what is the other one? I'm sorry if I'm looking between two because I have like my answers written down in here because I'm tired and I won't ever remember them. And then the questions fully written out of my phone. A book that you haven't stopped thinking about is ACOWAR. Like, I think about it all the time. I think about it daily. I don't know if it's because I'm still in the ACOTAR like phase right now because I'm reading A Court of Silver Flames, but I think about everything that happened in it and the world, and I relate it to my own life, and I really liked it, which is weird because when I first started it, it was a little slow in spots, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this as much as Court of Mist and Fury, and then it got into it, and I was like, whew, we are flying. I am digging this. Totally loved it. There's lots of savagery in it that I think is absolutely amazing. The next is, what is the cringiest book? This one is going to be a little bit controversial too. So I love Sarah Adams. Like, The Cheat Sheet is one of my favorite novels. I think it's just really cutesy. I loved it. I loved it when I first read it. It's one of my favorites by her. I did not like Practice Makes Perfect. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I couldn't find When in Rome first because I accidentally read the second one before the first one, so I didn't understand like the whole plot of it. Which you don't technically have to, but then you kind of know like what happens with the other one. I didn't like it. It just was not my thing. And I love small town stuff like that, but it just wasn't the vibe for me. Wasn't my thing. What else? I swear, my child. Where am I? Lost my stuff. Rocket. Oh my gosh, what did it? Oh, an unpopular book that I loved. The Stand-In by Lily Chu. Again, I don't really hear anybody talking about it, so that's another one that or Punk 57, but I feel like that was hyped a few years ago, so I don't feel like that counts. Fave book quotes. This is gonna be a little bit hard. You're gonna have to watch me scroll for a minute, so I will try to speed up the editing there. But this is from Julian and Love Redesign. This is the first one. And this one I did write down because it's smaller, but it says, if you have to change yourself to fit someone's ideal version of you, then that's not love. And I think that that's like so important because I think so often when we get in relationships, we do have a tendency to do that. And we do kind of make it about the other person, and we sort of lose ourselves in like what they want. And I know that I've done that. I'm very guilty of that too, where I just kind of like forget about why I do the things I do, or like you kind of just like lose sight of yourself. I'm trying to find my other one. Okay, this is another one. It says, nobody likes failure, G, but I maintain that this isn't failure. This is just one moment in time. A moment in time, she echoes weakly. Yes, and right now, in the moment you're down, but that's okay because I'm here to lift you up. Always, she whispers, always. You fall, I pick you up, always. I just think that that's nice to hear because sometimes you get so caught up in thinking about like the what ifs kind of deal. And then this one, you're gonna have to watch me scroll for 2 seconds. I should have had this like saved at the bottom, but I didn't. That's my bad. And this one is from No Surprise, The Stand-In by Lily Chu. Let me see, which one is this? This isn't it. All of those voices. I don't think this is actually, I don't remember where. Maybe this isn't. I don't actually know what book this is from. Okay, we're gonna move that out of there. Sorry for that. The next one is the books with the most unique concept. I would say the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I got into this year because Sarah Caroli mentioned it, and it just like kind of piqued my interest. And ironically, that is one of my favorite reads this year. It is a fantastic series. It's basically about these kids with like super abilities for like really, I have to clean him up. One that have like abilities for, what am I trying to say here? Like one's really good at reading people's emotions. One's like a really good profiler. And they're like teenage kids, and they get recruited by the FBI for this specialty program. and it is really, really good. I love the first one is my favorite, and then I think the third one are the top ones for me. It's just really good, and there's a little novella at the end of the fourth one that was like kind of cool. I would kill to have more of their stories because I do think it is so unique, and I enjoyed it so much that I would 100% read more books about them. Loved it, thought it was awesome. Everybody describes it as like a younger version of NCIS, which is weird to me because I've never been into anything like that. So, you know, there we go. Books I read this year that I would reread. So I have a few. I would definitely read A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of War, Wings and Ruin. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that. ACOWAR, I would read those two 100%. The Stand-In, obviously, as I've said, and then the Twisted series by Anne Huang. I really loved that series this year. It was one of my favorites. I love that world. I love all of the guys in it, and I just love their group of friends and everything. And I love Alex and Ava, or Ava. Yeah, Alex and Ava, Josh, Jules, Bridget Rise. Like, I love all of them, and I think it's just a really good story. Stella and Christian, excuse me, sir. Now, I didn't actually set a book read goal, but my book goal was 50 for this year. I was short of it, but what I'm gonna do in 2024 is my goal is to double that, to at least 100 books. And I say that because I have so many in here that I need to read and on my TBR, and so many books that I want to get to that I think it's possible. And I just really want to delve deeper into a lot more reading this year. I think sometimes I like to punish myself by not taking time as a break because I am bad at like doing that. So this year is the year that I'm really gonna try to take a step back and read different authors, and then just read more in general. And then what am I gonna prioritize in my 2024 reading year is, like I just mentioned here, new authors, and then finishing up some of the books in my TBR. And also finishing series that I've either started this year or last year. I have quite a few that like I started on and then I just never picked them back up again. So I wanna get back into that, but I'm sorry if this video was a little bit of a mess. I've been trying to film it for the last couple of days and I just haven't had the energy, and I am literally about to go hop in the shower after I finish this video. But I wanted to get this out for you guys, and I'm hopefully gonna film a couple more this week. So I hope you're having a good night, a good day, whatever you're, doing. I didn't get to do Vlogmas this year, just with the chaos of everything, but I'm hopefully gonna take you guys along for a couple nights, maybe at Disney here coming up soon, so you can see that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good night, good morning, good day, wherever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.